Veterans certainly face some unique challenges as they serve and later transition back to civilian life. And we're taking time ahead of Memorial Day today to gain some understanding and to look closer at resources available here locally to help. Dr. Christina Menege is with the Eastern Kansas VA Health System, specializes as the program manager for suicide prevention. Dr. Menege, good to see you.
Yes.
Thanks for being here today. And we're here to talk about, obviously, some resources that are available for veterans in Northeast Kansas. We're hearing so much more about mental health everywhere these days, but it's specifically important for our veterans. Talk about your work.
Yeah, so a lot of my work focuses on how to both prevent suicide in our veterans. A lot of folks don't know suicide is the #1 clinical priority for the VA. The VA is very focused on reducing suicide numbers, and that can look like a wide variety of things. Everything like getting veterans connected with support and resources, to making sure they have good quality mental health and substance use care. We also have specialized treatment for veterans who have experienced suicidal thoughts or have attempted to end their life as well, to help them get better and lead productive lives.
You mentioned getting them access, and there was
Yes.
actually some news that came out today from the VA nationwide, basically talking about an improvement in response times to get veterans better access to primary care, but also to mental health services. A 7% increase year to year in terms of a quicker response time for those mental health resources. That's got to be some good news from your side, seeing things in the clinical side.
Absolutely, yes. Even when we do have long wait times, veterans do have access to care in the community.
Right.
That is one of the laws that was passed recently by Congress. However, care at the VA, because of our specialized knowledge and interest about veterans, we're able to really provide that quality care that veterans need, that's veteran focused. So yeah, wonderful news that we've seen a decrease. If there are any veterans watching, all you have to do is come to the local VA here in Topeka. You can also call 785-580-3111. That's our number, and ask to get connected with mental health resources.
That's some good information,
Yeah.
and we'll put that number online when we post this segment later in the show on WIBW.com. For all of us who maybe are not a veteran and we talk about wanting to help, what can we do specifically maybe as community members to be supportive of the veterans who need our support? They need mental health services, they need that suicide prevention intervention. What can we be doing?
A couple different things. One is to be aware of the resources. So if someone does come to you and they're struggling or in crisis, you can point them in the right direction. So in addition to our local VA resources, one of the most important numbers to know is 988. That is our National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If you are calling about a veteran, or if you yourself are a veteran or service member, you then press 1 to connect with the Veterans Crisis Line. We have many folks who are concerned about veterans they know call that number, and they're able to access help and resources as well. And then there's a lot of really wonderful online resources that you can connect them to as well. But I think the most important thing is simply to listen. To let them know that you're here, that you're willing to support them, and get them access to care in whatever way that they need. That's really important.
We're coming into Memorial Day weekend, obviously a time when we think about the veterans who paid the ultimate sacrifice, all veterans in terms of their service to our nation. It's an important time of the year, but I have to imagine it can be, obviously a tough time too for some veterans who may be out there.
Yes, it can be.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to plan ahead when you know those difficult days are coming. It could be Memorial Day. 4th of July is also a difficult time for many of our veterans, or certain anniversaries as well for them. And one of the things they can do is to make sure they've accessed that care. There's also a wonderful app online that I recommend to veterans, especially if they've struggled with suicide in the past. It's a safety plan app. They can create a plan that when they're struggling, what are some tools and resources that I can use to help me to feel better? The best, the best way is to prevent.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
That
This is
crisis.
great information. I'm going to post that phone number and that
Wonderful.
resource on our web story with this at WIBW.com. Dr. Christina Menege, the program manager for suicide prevention for the Eastern Kansas VA. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, David.
Thanks for all you do for our veterans as well.
Very welcome.